UV unwrapping is a two-dimensional version of your 3D model. To start with, make sure you're in the UV editing layout. On the left side is our UVs. On the right side is our 3D viewport. I've added this texture to these objects, but we can't see them because they don't have any UVs right now. In edit mode, go to edge selection and select the edges that you would want to mark. We're basically going to be cutting this. Think of it as if you had a cardboard box and you needed to cut that box up into a flat shape. With these three selected, I'm going to right click and select Mark Scene. Now I'm going to press A to select all, and then U to unwrap, and select Unwrap Angle Based. What you can see here is I have a nice square where I cut. You can see that laid out there, but everywhere else is stretched. And it's stretched because Blender is trying to flatten that area the best it can, but it's all connected, so it can't do a very good job. So I'm going to go ahead and mark some more edges. Select all and unwrap again. And you can see how it's starting to unwrap better. I'm going to go ahead and complete this unwrapping. Select all and unwrap. And there it is, unwrapped. When it comes to cylinders, what you want to do is mark off the tops and bottoms, and then down the center. I'm going to select this loop, holding Alt, and select this loop, mark seam, and then I'm going to select one edge down the center and mark that seam. Now, if you have something like an arm or something like that, it's kind of cylindrical shape, you would do the same thing, and you would mark all of the edges down the object. Select all and hit unwrap. Let's talk about UV placement really quick. So this right here, I have faces that are upside down. And maybe I don't want that. So I could select this face and I could rotate it, type 180 degrees, and then enter and flip that face around. In the instance of this cylinder, these are sideways. Maybe I don't want them sideways. So I'll rotate that 90 degrees and place that inside of this UV square. When it comes to spheres, I'll typically just leave the default UVs that are there, but we have some other options for unwrapping this. We could mark the seams just like it has here, where we would go in and mark. You can see how it's unwrapping there. But I can never get it as straight as this, as it was beforehand. You can also go to a flat perspective view, go to your unwrap menu, and do sphere projection. This is definitely a lot better than what I had, but it doesn't look so great here on the top and bottom. So it gets a little stretched and wonky. So unless you need to do something special, just leave it as the default UV map that it comes with. Let's talk about an irregular shape. I have this wall that has a window and some columns in it, and I have to think about how I want to cut this up. Let's go ahead and mark the edges. And I'll right click and mark seam. So if I hit unwrap now, we can see what it's doing. So here's those columns. They don't look great. And this is stretched as well. You can see in the texture, this is not good right here. These look okay. Another method that we can use to unwrap is I can just select the faces and then hit U and unwrap, and it will unwrap based on what I have selected. So I'll go ahead and do that for this one as well. And then to fix this, we're going to select these faces, then make sure you get everything you need. And then I'll hit unwrap. That unwrapped better. Now this window, a little bit trickier, so we're going to mark those. I'm just going to select the loop around this and mark that seam. And we're going to treat this like a cylinder. It's not quite a cylinder, but it's cylinder adjacent. Select a couple of edges here and mark those seams. Now when I unwrap, this works a lot better. We still have some stretching going on. So let's figure out if we can fix that. I think it's because this window back panel is still connected. So I'm going to select the edge loop around there and mark the seam. To select an area that you have marked off, make sure you're in face selection, hover over it, and push L. Now I can see that this did not get fully marked off. So I'm going to mark this seam. I'm going to mark here. So now when I push L over that section, it's only going to select that area. Now I hit unwrap. And there we have it. Looks nice and clean. Now it's at a weird angle, so there's some things we can do to fix that. So let's look at all these. So we have these look weird. I don't like that. And these don't. They're not straight. They're hard to do. We have some tools that we can get in the extensions. We're going to go to Edit, Preferences, and then Get Extensions. And go ahead and type in UV in there. And you can turn on any of the UVs that are in here. So the Mio UV and the UV toolkit are the ones we're going to use today. Make sure you turn them on. And then in the UV editor, press N to open up the N panel. We want to go to the Mio 3. We're going to select Gridify. Select the island, Gridify. You can see that's making it nice and straight on the UVs. The next thing we want to do is we have to pack this. I can manually pack this by moving all these things in and scaling it. I'm just going to select everything. And then under the UV toolkit, click Pack UVs. So packs it in there really tight though, which can be a problem depending on what you're doing. So if you're painting on a model, you want to make sure that your UVs have some space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these around and just pack them a little bit better, giving them some space. And we can adjust anything we need to, like these two are upside down and this one's not. So flip that around and flip that one around. Try it out for yourself and see how it works on your models.